Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping and Paul Felder.
Yeah. We're back. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. We're trying, okay? Before you all start, we are trying, and there's going to be a new wave of BYM scheduling where it's just there every week. Maybe a Monday and a Thursday, maybe 2 weeks, but just lately, this shit has got a little insane with the travel and the life and just a lot of obstacles, Paul, getting in the way.
When it rains, it pours, they say, Michael. And, we used to complain, I'm sick of going to Vegas, just doing the Apex. You know what? I don't know if I miss it that much anymore because we're going to Paris. We're going to, where were we in the Middle East not too long ago? Azerbaijan. We're going to Doha this year. We're going to Perth, Australia next week. We're in every which city, which is amazing. But flights get delayed and It's crazy. We were bitching about how crazy your trip back from China was. Well, goddamn, if I didn't just get hit with the same damn situation. And British Airways, this is what I got for you right here. Two of them for you.
Not the
two of them.
No, I'm so mad at them. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking with the show. We appreciate you, and we do love doing the show, and the time flies by when we do it. Just lately, logistically, it's been a real issue. I've just got back from Ibiza, which is technically just getting back from France. So we've got lots to talk about. We had the fights of the weekend. We got the fights in Paris, which were historic for many reasons. We've got personal catch-ups. We've got boxing at the weekend. We've got sad news like Ricky Hatton passing away. We've got a whole list of stuff to get through. But how the hell have you been, Paul? Since I last saw you, it was Paris. I saw you in Hippopotamus, that little bar. We shared. Oh no, the Frog. The Frog. It was called the Frog.
Hippopotamus is the good steak, the little steak place that we like to go to.
We had a couple of pitchers of beer. The very nice French lady brought over a couple of shots at the end of the night.
She was awesome. That lady was awesome, dude. Especially when you're like the last guys in there. You're getting, we're getting kicked out slowly. They were being very nice about it, but she was the best, bringing us those last little drinks and just giving everybody hugs and stuff like that. That was one of our lasting little impressions, at least for me. I left that morning, probably 3 hours after that, I was on a bus out of there. So that was pretty cool to end the night like that, just hanging out, having a couple drinks, and then having the waitress be super friendly like that is always welcome.
Yeah, she's always nice because obviously that's 4 years in a row now that we've been there. We always say it. We'll get into some other stuff in a minute, the travel schedule, and I'll talk about my time in Ibiza. But the fans in Paris, and I know we're late to the party, guys. I know you're probably thinking, hell, we only covered this last week. Paris. What are you talking about, guys? Maybe if you did a show every week, we'd listen. But
we're trying, man.
Okay?
We're trying.
It's our
really
podcast.
Are. Yeah. We tried. I mean, we really did try to make that work. And it just, with the travel schedule, and you're in different time zones, I'm back here on the East Coast. It's just very unlikely. I was supposed to do the same thing. I was supposed to go to Contender on Tuesday. I didn't even make that. You know what I mean? So if I'm not even making my big time first priority job commitments, I think it's understandable that we didn't even make it to getting a show out there this week. But we're back. And crazy travel. We don't even need to get into all. Obviously, kicked off of a flight that I ended up making it to the gate for because it was delayed. They were just doing their job to try to make sure I got home. So I had to go to Miami to go back to Philly. So Paris to London, they booted me off of the flight that I ended up making it to the gate in time. But then they switched me to Miami. Had to go to Miami, 3-hour layover in Miami, and then all the way to Philly. I got home at 1 a.m. from Paris, bro. I left the hotel in Paris time at 7:30 a.m., which is, I think, like 1 a.m, 1:30 in the morning Philly time. So it was like 23 and a half hours of travel basically to get back from Paris.
Well, I know, and I've got similar shit coming up soon. However, my version was obviously we had the great night of fights in Paris. I said historic before because it was tied for the most finishes. Had we got one more finish, it would have been the most finishes overall. And whilst the prelims were incredible, the fights were amazing, the fans were absolutely the next level. As a human being, you've only got so much energy to give. And the adrenaline was flowing from the early prelims, knockouts, finishes, the fans are stamping, they're singing the national anthem. We're like, this place is amazing. Regardless of how good the fights were, halfway through the main card, I'm like, Jesus, I'm feeling
dipping. Yeah,
I'm dipping.
Start to fade.
Because it's a 7-hour window. And you're only a human being. You can only sustain that level of excitement and adrenaline and energy for so long. It doesn't matter how good the fights are. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm about to pass out unconscious.
And that's why, I remember when I first started doing commentary too, I would get really pumped up in the very beginning, the first few fights. And, the producers would be like, hey, save yourself. Don't go too crazy now. You've got all the way through to the main card. But it's hard to do that when obviously the prelims were bananas, finish after finish after finish. You start getting hyped up. And then anytime you start to get third round of anything, you're like, your energy is going to come down. And then I had to go do the post show, which luckily it was quick because there was a concert coming into the building the next day. I think was it Drake? Did I hear that? It was somebody like that. It was somebody big coming in to do a show the next day. So they were like, look, your guys have to be wrapped by X time so that we can start loading in all the equipment for the show. So I think we did a 30-minute post show. But I was able to get up there and just keep it going. And then by the time I got on those flights, man, I'll tell you what, I was like, they're like, you want water, orange juice, or champagne? And I was like, champagne. And a couple more from there. And, of
course,
well, it's good though.
I'm sorry to hear that you had the travel woes, and we promised that we wouldn't continue to bitch about the travel, but we did. We're liars. What can I tell you?
Yeah.
Suck it up, okay? That's our lives.
I watched a crazy movie though on
what was the movie
on the flight back? Paul Rudd and something Robinson. I forget his first name. The comedian guy. He's a crazy. He does sketch comedy. Tim Robinson. Have you seen that, Harrington? Friendship.
My wife and I watched it last night.
What'd you think?
Loved it.
It's fucking wild, right? But I love it. Dude, it's Mike. You got to check it out. It's dark, but funny as hell and wild. Friendship. It's about this guy, new neighbor. Paul Rudd moves in. He's got no friends. His wife kind of runs everything. He's just
sounds like my life.
Go to his data type job and do nothing. And she encourages him to go have a drink with this guy. And then it spirals into this crazy friendship and then not friendship. And it's nuts.
It's on the list. Well, while you were having your travel issues, I woke up in Paris.
Did you go the next day? Did you go?
So we were supposed to go to Bruges and Ghent and go sightseeing and see castles and all the rest of it
in the rain.
And we were walking around Paris and we were going to see Notre Dame because it's open. We've been to it before, but we're like, let's go check it out. I'm telling you, you've seen it once, it's enough. Okay. And I'm walking around Paris and we were going to a nice dinner that night. Okay. Some fancy place that we'd booked in advance. We've been there before. So she's all dressed up and she's got heels on, right? I'm a little smarter than usual. Do you know what I mean? And it was raining when we left the hotel. Then the sun came out and it was boiling. So I was sweating like crazy. We've got these big, stupid coats on. Feet are killing. We're trudging around Paris and it was just doing my head in. I was like, you know what? I'm just being honest, babe. I don't think I can deal with this for 5 days. After we're done here, trudging around little medieval Belgium villages, you know what I mean? I'm like, how about we say, screw this, we fly off somewhere where there's a nice beach, the sun is shining, a beautiful hotel right on the ocean or the sea. She's like, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. Anyway, long story short, we flew to Ibiza and it was the best decision that we made because we had such a great time. But of course, all we had was fancy like clothes and nice stuff, like, you know, like jackets and jeans and shit like that. So Sunday morning we get up, we rush off into Paris City Centre. We're running around. She's trying to find a bikini. I'm trying to find some shorts and this and that and blah, 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 blah. Then we rush back. We just make the flight in time. She buys a couple of bikinis. They weren't cheap. Then we get to the hotel. Then we get to the airport and they have more bikinis there. She buys another one because that's a nicer bikini. Then we fly there. We get to the hotel. Of course, we're in Ibiza. They sell nothing but bikinis and sarongs and shorts and shirts and hats and whatever bloody shit you want to wear by the pool and want to be a poser. They've got it all. Do you know what I mean? So we stayed at this place called the Six Senses. Oh my God. If you ever get an opportunity, Six Senses Ibiza, next level. I am telling you, it was beautiful. 5 days of glorious sunshine. Just hanging out. We didn't do anything bad. We went to Pasha one night, which is like a big club. So we went there. I've got some good videos of that. Just went in. I know the promoter there, Ben. He's a great guy. So he hooked us up. We went in there, had a little table. We were hanging out in the DJ booth for a little bit. I'm like, this is cringe. We're going to get out of it. Because everyone had the phones out. Everyone's got the phones out, and I'm like, oh, shit, I do not want to get caught, behind the DJ booth in Ibiza, giving it one of this. Like, look at this prick having his midlife crisis, you know. And then we got back Friday night. We landed Friday. Callum was going to come pick us up. We're waiting for Callum to get there. Callum calls. Obviously, he sets off way late because he was quite close to home. My car broke down. It's a nice car. Rodent damage. So he had to get towed to the Audi dealership, right? And then I'm like, well, it's something with the battery. All my electrics are covered by warranty. They call up. They're like, yeah, it's rodent damage. And they send me a little video. Little bastards have chewed through all the cables.
No so said, way.
Yeah, apparently so. And then let me ask you this. And then they're like, yeah, and apparently you need a new car battery. I'm like, all right, we'll stick a new battery in. Like, I've chat GPT this, and I know from experience, a car battery supplied and fitted, $300 to $500. What would you guess?
That they were going to charge?
No, yeah. Well, how much would you expect a car battery to cost?
Oh God. Well, yeah, it can't be more than $350.
$1,300.
Is it because it's an Audi?
It's because it's specific goddamn dealership, and they just rip you off all the time.
That's
I know, but at that point, it's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Say no. Say, okay, I'm going to have the car towed away to somewhere else.
That's the issue with a lot of those kind of cars is you often are bringing them to the dealership because they're going to be able to be the best to fix that kind of stuff. Because some of those German, like a luxury type cars, my brother's got an Audi, and so it's a pain in the ass anytime anything goes wrong with those types of cars. They're really nice, no doubt about it. But when it comes to that kind of just getting something like a battery replaced, it ends up being way more than it ever should be. If I got a Toyota 4Runner, if I take that bad boy in, I can take that shit anywhere. Anybody can fix that.
Yeah, no, I know. Anyway, whatever. So yeah, and then we got home, and I've been jet lagged ever since. And then of course Saturday, a full day of fights, which is good because I was jet lagged. I was awake at like 4 a.m, couldn't sleep. Doom scrolled on my phone for like a good few hours. I'm like, I've got to stop this. I am 46 years old, but I was just exhausted. I'm just laying on my couch, not wanting to do anything. I'm just scroll, shit, crap, like,
been there, man.
Top, leave a comment. You know,
yeah. The hotel, that's the hotel room life. You end up doing that way too much. You're like, oh my God, what have I just done with the last hour and a half?
That's my new thing now, though. It's my new rule. Like when I went into the gym this morning, left my phone in the car. Hold on. Turning this off right now. Because Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm on an Arnold Schwarzenegger newsletter. You should sign up to it, Paul. It's good. It's good. And he just gives little tips on health and fitness and all the rest of it. And he said, apparently, when you've, even though you got your phone like this, face down, your productivity in your brain is still nowhere near as good because you know you're not looking at your phone and you're anticipating picking it up and checking it, and it's taking away from your attention span, and you're not being quite as productive Whereas if the phone isn't with you, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start doing that. Turn the phone off, leave the phone in the car. I don't need the phone with me at all time. And I shouldn't be able to be contacted 24/7 just because somebody decides to call me.
Yeah, I know. I feel you. And I would be down for, I think people are starting to do it where you can go to these places where you kind of agree to go on like a trip where you leave your phone behind and just kind of, man, I wish you could just get in a time capsule sometime and go back to when it just wasn't even a thing and try to live that same way. It was way more exciting. It could also be really boring, but that's the problem is kids these days, they don't understand that there is no boredom. Like my daughter will be like, oh, I'm bored. I'm like, okay, then figure it out.
Rebecca,
it's okay to be bored.
Rebecca, come here quickly. Come here. We talk about this all the time. This is one of Rebecca's things. Paul just said, real quick, lean in.
Hi, Paul.
How was the beta?
IB was amazing. It really was.
Paul was just saying, and you said this, Paul was saying that his daughter, what did you say, Paul? What did you say?
I was saying that she'll come up and just be like, well, I'm bored. And I'll be like, yeah, it's okay to be bored. You should be bored and you'll figure it out.
Yes.
Because you said you were bored all the time as a kid, but these days,
of course,
constant stimulation.
Constant. You were bored also as a child.
Well, I was very bored.
But that's like, it kind of like builds you who you are today.
You start getting creative.
Yeah.
What did you do, babe? What games did you play?
I played board games. Yeah. I drew. I colored in. I used my imagination. I played Barbies. I played with friends. I had friends.
What? That's crazy. You?
I had friends back then.
And it slowly goes away. Like my 3-year-old Ruby, that's all she does because she doesn't know yet, right? She still hasn't gotten an iPad. She doesn't have any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So she will just take her toys and she'll go and be imaginary playing with her Barbies, with Ninja Turtles and doing all that kind of stuff. And I did all that. I can remember as a kid, like I love my action figures and I used to call them my guys, and they would just be all like the Ninja Turtles or the wrestlers and all that. And Ashling was the same way. And now she's just slowly like, oh, I'm bored. Like, can I call my friends on this? And I'm like, no, go like wander around in the yard. I don't know. Go do something.
Yeah. Find outside.
Find beauty in nature. I don't know. Just figure something out. Yeah, exactly.
What did you do as a child? What toys did you play with? I feel like you didn't have many.
No, we weren't deprived like that. My dad, even though money was tight, always did well at Christmas.
Yeah, but not computer games. What toys did you play with?
Computer games were a nightmare because in my day, I'm old, we had to load them via cassette tape.
Yeah.
You remember those days?
Yeah, I can remember seeing a computer for the first time with you could get like the thing to go across the screen. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the line. You could move it by pushing. But I remember Atari. I still remember Atari from back then.
ZX Spectrum. So we had an Amstrad CPC 464, right? Monitor, keyboard. Oh, I felt very fancy. You had to put the cassette tapes in. But they would take about 50 minutes to load.
50?
50. And then they would crash right at the last minute. And we used to sit there around there. Me and my brothers would sit there, quiet,
waiting,
quiet.
Being bored. Being bored.
More bored.
Yeah, being very bored. Just waiting for the game to load. And we would celebrate. Yes, it worked. You know? Hold on.
We had a Commodore 64.
Commodore 64. Then we upgraded one Christmas. My dad went and bought it from some guy's house, Christmas Eve.
Doesn't sound good.
No, it's my dad's style. Nothing was ever wrapped up. We got it from some guy's house, an Amstrad CPC 6128 floppy disk. Do you know what I mean? We're like, it's got
so futuristic.
It's got a disc, you know. And then, of course, the cartridges and the consoles came. Babe, would you recommend?
Children need to be bored, basically.
Yeah, correct. Before I kick you out real quick, did you have a good time at Pasha in Ibiza? 6 Senses Ibiza?
Yes.
Would you recommend Ibiza?
Yes. Don't be like swayed by the whole like party scene because you don't have to do that. You can do it if you want, but it's just such a beautiful island. I would.
Paul's not going anytime soon. He's got
I know.
3 little girls. He's like, why are you telling me?
Yeah,
it's in your future.
I'll be 50 when I'm going. I'll be 50.
That's okay, because
hey, I'm 46.
Yeah.
And everyone was our age.
Even older. There was some older people.
There's a lot of people there by themselves.
A lot of girls by themselves. Young girls looking for it. No, they're not. They're trying to just.
They were looking for someone like me. Had I been like just there by myself, just like laying it down, they'd have been like, hey, what's going on?
That's not true. They were there They were there to probably get away from their boyfriends and husbands. Trust.
They were. Anyway, we've got MMA stuff to talk about. We've got Diego Lopez versus Jean Silva. We've got lots and lots to talk about.
Yeah.
But there's a nice little intro to the podcast.
What's been going on.
And what's been going on and where we've been and what we've been doing.
And I'm sick.
Pardon me?
I got sick. The kids are back in school, and here I am.
You look a bit sick. No disrespect. You look a little
pale. I just got off I'm always, Michael, I will always look pale. So that is just, don't confuse that with being ill. It's just, that's just my skin. But no, seriously, I woke up today before we get into MMA, and I was like, I feel like shit. I was like, I'm not going to work out. I'm not going to do anything today. And then that just creeped into my brain, and I started to feel a little better throughout the day. So I did get a workout in. I do feel better, but it's one of those coughs. I feel like I got to get something out, and it won't come out. Like, I just keep having this, and I'm driving Christine crazy because I'll just be like, all day long. And you can imagine over time.
But if she's coughing, you've got to look after her and you've got to be sympathetic.
Oh, I'll tell her to shut up. Stop coughing. Stop sneezing.
All right, this episode is brought to you by Raycon headphones. Don't you just love when one of your favorite classics comes back? You know, like Resident Evil 2, The Empire Strikes Back, something like that. Well, this July, guess who's back and better than ever? It's Raycon's fan favorite everyday earbuds classics, now packing active noise cancellation. Who's ready for the return of their favorite earbuds every day? They are the perfect way to tune out all the noise around you and tune into something that's great. The latest version of Raycon's everyday earbud classics now feature active noise cancellation, one thing that they were missing. Pair that with 8 hours of playtime and a 32-hour battery. Your Raycons will never leave your ears. I'm always wearing mine whenever I travel. Their audio quality rivals all the big audio brands you know and love at half the price. Don't believe me? Check out their tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. I'm telling you, these things are fantastic. When I travel on the planes, I do not hear anything else. I don't hear the coughing, the spluttering, or even the captain when he's giving me an announcement. So get yours today with free shipping, by the way, on every single pair of Raycon earbuds. Go to buyraycon.com/believe to get 20% off the fan favorite everyday earbud classics. Right now, Raycon is offering 20% off their everyday earbud classic. Buyraycon.com/believe. Hey, should we get the boys on? Should we see what Harrington and Brian are doing?
I'd like
to. Come
on,
lad. Jump on. Let's have a look at you. Let's see how you're doing. Let's see what we're working with.
Hello.
Oh, there. How you doing?
Looking.
Are you muted, Mike?
No,
he's good.
No,
not this time.
Surely. We're back Brian, and ready.
We were talking about this at the start of the show, Brian, before we hit record. You are looking very healthy these days, sir. Nice color in your skin. You know, I know you've lost a lot of weight recently as well. You've been hitting the gym. Fair play, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. You know, try not to die. Or I'm trying to be able to move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trying not to die.
What about you, Harrington? You still alive?
Yeah, no, I'm alive. I'm doing well. I'm under 245 for the first time in probably a year or so. So
man, I'm that's nice. $100, huh?
Bro, I'm getting to 200 before I get to 300. I know that much.
Well, I know you've been training. You got a match coming up soon, right? You got a bit of a boxing match coming up. So you know,
let's not waste the people's time with that nonsense.
Wait a minute.
I am getting pay-per-view points, which I'm pretty hyped about.
Oh shit! Use code Harrington, Mike 15.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Obviously, we got a lot to talk about in the world of MMA. I want to start with this real quick. This is an MMA podcast. Paul, we built our lives on MMA, right? So, of course, we're biased. I spent all day Saturday sitting on my couch, ordered DoorDash twice. It was great. Great.
Nice.
I had 5 guys, and then later on we got pizza. I'm like, I don't care. I'm jet lagged. So anyway, I stuffed my face. I had a very slovenly day, but I was very entertained because we had UFC Noche on, and then of course straight in to the boxing that Dana White promoted, Zuffa boxing, TKO boxing, whatever, Crawford versus Canelo. I just want to say this, and I want to get your opinions. Whilst I started off as a boxing fan. I'll never forget watching Frank Bruno become the champion of the world when he took on Oliver McCall in 1995. I watched it with my dad. I watched Frank Bruno as a kid. I grew up watching a lot of boxers, Joe Calzaghe, Ricky Hatton. We'll get to him later. So I loved boxing. I'm telling you, these two sports are day and fucking night. Okay, right? The main event was great between Crawford and Canelo. It was a technical fight, but compared to what I saw at UFC Noche, I'm sorry. Okay, there's a clear winner. I mean, don't get me wrong, the production was incredible. I'm not shitting on the event or anything like that. I'm just talking about the two sports. I much prefer mixed martial arts.
Yeah, I mean, after the UFC card, the boxing card was kind of like a downshifting towards the end of the night situation, because the UFC card was so exciting, and just watching dudes. I know it was very technical, the main event, but there was like very little to no excitement in it, right? Like nobody really got hit too flush and like damage. The best shot Crawford hit Canelo with, like everybody just kind of ate everything. Nobody seemed like they were in danger all night. I wasn't excited. It was interesting, but I wasn't excited.
Yeah, I just want to say, and Paul, give your take in a second. By the way, what a spectacle. And that is something you don't see in mixed martial arts. I mean, what they pulled off Saturday night at the Allegiant Stadium, holy shit, right? Just to be a part of that. I mean, can you imagine Canelo and Crawford, the walkouts that they had, at the production levels? Because I remember Callum was watching with me and he went to the bathroom and it was a number 2, not a number 1. I'm like, dude, so I paused it and I rewound it. I said, you've got to see this. When Canelo walks out, he's got all the belts and you get the whole overhead shot and like he's walking out of those tunnels with all the faces and on them and everything. I was like, wow. And then the mariachi bands and everything. I was like, this shit is insane. It's insane. It was amazing. But even still, I'm talking about the two sports. And obviously we're biased as a mixed martial arts podcast. I love boxing. There's some great fights. There's amazing fights. But I'm an MMA guy. Paulie, what's your take?
I mean, I watched Noche. Incredible. What a main event. And the one thing that stands out to me always, and again, I'll be honest, I was watching the beginning of the Canelo Crawford main card, watched the first couple fights, fell asleep, woke up at 1 a.m, and Crawford was just making his way to the ring. And I went to my bed. My wife's already asleep. I put it back on. Round 1 starts. I watched round 1. And I fell back asleep. But what I did notice is I was sitting there with Christine before we went to bed eventually. And I'm like, when are they going to show a fight? We know how big this fight is. We've been hyped. There's a countdown. There's a bringing, all this information to this constantly. How much do we need to show? These guys are superstars. We get it. We know that already. We're tuning in to watch these fights. Let's either just show the main event and skip these other 10 and 12 round fights, because dude, that's my only thing about boxing right now is you watch an MMA fight. First of all, most of them are 15 minutes or less. We don't hype things up that much. We get right to it unless it's a big fight. We show a little bit. We show just enough to get you intrigued for the fight, and then you're in the fight. They were talking about Grubhub bags of what represents what Canelo would be and what Crawford. What are we doing right now? And listen, it still looked amazing because obviously Zuffa and Dana and the Turk and all that are behind it. So everything looked incredible. But again, we're just filling time to fill time for what? To get more buys? You're not getting buys because you're talking about what Canelo's Grubhub order would be.
Yeah, but that's just kind of like the boxing way. Do you know what I mean? They do that. They put on these concerts in between and stuff like that, whether it's in the UK, whether it's in Saudi Arabia. It just seems to be the way that they do it.
And then the fight starts and it's boxing.
Yeah, but
so
this is more rounds. About what I want to get into. Like, because I was watching, obviously I've watched loads of fights, and the fight before Callum Walsh, that was a good fight, but they were so evenly matched to one another. Neither guy could really get an advantage, but it was very, very good technical stuff. The fight before, it was some French Cameroonian or something, Mbili or something.
That fight was great.
That fight was incredible.
That fight was wild. It was insane. But I'm watching the main event and all of the fights, 3 minutes versus 5 minutes. I'm a much bigger fan of a 5-minute round. A, when I'm fighting, and B, when I'm watching, because 3 minutes, I don't know. I don't know if because I'm so brainwashed. It's a 5
by like that, right?
It goes by like that.
Yeah.
And you can't really get anything going on. It's like, I remember when I was sparring, we used to do the Shark Tank rounds and we throw in a fresh opponent every minute. And I used to say, listen, I understand the concept behind it, that the guys are fresh and they're pushing me. I said, but can we do it every 2.5 minutes? Because I need a little bit of time to figure them out, to get a rhythm, to start picking them apart, to start like, there's good days where they come in and they're pushing you. But I want to break them down. I want to get a rhythm. I want to start setting up traps and stuff like that. I can't do that with 60 seconds. And I feel like with a 5-minute round versus a 3-minute round, there's just so much more time, to kind of get a game plan going, and it's just a better setup, if you ask me.
Yeah. You think we'll ever see 5-minute boxing rounds?
No, it's just so many shots to the head, right? Because then at the end of the day, it is just boxing. And I don't say that derogatory. I say that it's just shots to the head and body, right? So at least in MMA, there's a reason there's 5 minutes. Like Michael's talking about, there's more time to get things going, but there's more options as well. And for me, and I get the other side of the coin too, where people say, the skills have to be at such a level because it is only one discipline. And I get that. And I respect it 100%. But for me as a fan of combat sports, that is why I love mixed martial arts, because anything can happen. When a guy gets going, you think he is fucked. He's done. He's going to get KO'd. He scores a massive freaking suplex on a guy. The next thing you know, he's on top. Look at Lopez and Jean Silva. How many times did that flip where you're like, oh, Lopez is going to murder him in the first round. Then he's getting rocked left and right on the feet. Then he lands a spinning. Like, there's some boring MMA fights out there, but man, when they're good, they are great.
Listen, I'm not saying every MMA fight is great, because there's been plenty of terrible. There's been plenty of turds. And there's good boxing and there's bad boxing. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I just prefer the formula. I prefer the variety of attacks. And that just, I don't know, it just stood out to me as I was watching both products. Both, obviously, one's UFC and the other one's promoted by Dana, and it was promoted fantastically, and the whole spectacle was mind-blowing. And I've never been involved in anything near that. I mean, that was something that really was historic, something for the ages. I fought George St. Pierre, Madison Square Garden. Unbelievable. Mega fight, super fight, 3 title fights in one night. Still didn't come near close to the spectacle that was on Saturday night. It was unbelievable. But they're just a core product. And yes, there'll be a lot of boxing fans that completely disagree. And I get that and I respect that, because boxers are tremendous at what they do. But to your point, Paul, about the 3-minute rounds, it is just boxing. It is just punches to the head or the body. So, yeah, you couldn't do 5. Mike Harrington, you haven't said much.
I've just been doing my homework on this. Like, I looked it up. It was a 4-fight main card. And as Paul said, Crawford didn't make the ring walk until 1 a.m. So averaging an hour and 20 minutes per fight on the undercard is just crazy. Like, you're never going to convert
that's my biggest
casual fan. And then on top of that, like, what made the Tyson Paul fight, like, we watched it together in New York. What made that fight so interesting is that Friday night in New York City, every single TV in the city was turned on to Netflix for Tyson versus Paul at like 8 p.m. on a Friday night. That's how you bring boxing back, is putting these marquee can't miss events that are quote unquote free on Netflix in front of as many eyes as possible. Putting it on at 1 a.m. on the East Coast, there's just no way to grow. Also add to that, you had a 4-fight main card. Every single one of them went to a decision. One of them was even a draw. There was a 5-fight UFC main card. 3 of the 5 fights ended by finish. So it's like, of course, if you're comparing apples to apples.
But to that point, Harrington, listen, that's often what you get if you evenly match two people. You know, when the fights are very evenly matched, you can't look at that and necessarily point that out as a negative. That's just the nature of the beast sometimes.
But as the guy sitting on the couch,
like in Paris, we had nearly all finishes. Sometimes we get nearly all decisions. And, and you're losing your mind. You're like, Jesus Christ, you need a bit of excitement.
My thing about the way they do the build up, though, like, I don't mind a good decision, a competitive fight. I love a competitive fight, back and forth. A draw means it was very back and forth, evenly matched. But like Harrington saying, an hour and 20 minutes or more per fight is because we're building so much then in between each one to keep hyping up the fight that's going to be at 1 a.m. And it's like, that's why I'm here. Let these guys fight. Let's keep going. Like, why are we stopping for 45 minutes between that fight or 30 minutes?
Let me ask you, Paul, what was Canelo's Grubhub order?
Oh, dude, I don't even remember.
There was golf stuff in there. There was golf stuff.
It was golf.
I remember it was golf stuff. Yeah. I'm like, this is a boxing broadcast. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Hey, no. Ah, dear. Should we? But I tell you what. And the thing is, this boxing is huge because it's been around forever, hundreds and hundreds of years, and it's widely recognized all over the world and everywhere. I mean, it's getting that way with UFC now, but still not at the same level because of the history involved. Could you imagine in hundreds of years when, like, literally everyone knows what MMA and UFC is, because it's heading that way. I mean, look at what's happened in 30 years. In hundreds of years, Jesus Christ. They'll be like, remember that podcast? Bisping and Felder? That was one of the early pioneering podcasts. Wow. That's unreal stuff.
That's right. When they came and did a show.
Yeah, when they showed up, it was good. All right, so let's talk about Noche. Diego Lopes, Jean Silva. Holy shit, fight starts. Jean Silva's taken down pretty quickly by Diego Lopes. He gets full mount, 12-6 elbows. Referee's on the verge of stopping it. Jean Silva's squirming around all over the place. Fair play, tremendous survival instincts to be able to escape, because it wasn't technical stuff. It was just squirming, trying to survive, and he made it happen, and he gets on top just near the end of the round. Second round starts landing big, right hand, big left hook, landing big, getting a little over aggressive, rushes in, boom, walks onto that spinning elbow, and that's essentially the end of the fight. I mean, holy shit.
It's so crazy that we've seen in less than a month, we've seen basically three massive spinning back elbows that led to a finish or were the finish themselves. In two of them, that was the finish itself. And then obviously this one led to more ground and pound from Diego Lopes. But yeah, dude. And I want to say something for the fighting nerds. Like, I know everybody's going to be all over these guys and kind of really talking trash and they've all taken a loss. How often does this happen, Michael? Like, your teams are going to go through ups and downs. There's going to be lulls. You guys are you're now getting into fighting the best guys. Diego Lopes just fought Volk for the belt, and you got your first main event. Like, these guys are all just growing. I think we'll see them continue to have success. They're taking their lumps.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm seeing a lot of people. This is a popular term that gets thrown around the kids these days. That the fighting nerd just got fraud checked.
Fraud checked. Yeah.
Fraud checked. Yeah. They did not get fraud checked. Okay. Caio Borralho made a really big error in being the backup fighter and then still fighting Imavov a few weeks later. And I think that cost him in his explosivity and his freshness and his reflexes. It just did. However, he was beaten by Imavov that looked ridiculously good. His boxing was phenomenal. Phenomenal. And he lost a number one contender matchup. Mauricio Hufe, all right, to be fair, got ragdolled by Benoit Saint-Denis. But Benoit Saint-Denis was on fire. And stylistically a tough matchup. He executed it perfectly, set it up with the strikes and then to the wrestling and then choked him out in the second round. But Benoit Saint-Denis is a monster, okay? Ruth is unreal. And then, of course, Saturday night, Lopez goes up against Diego Silva, Diego Lopes, as you just said, just fought Volkanovski for the belt. There's no shame in that. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. That's how you improve as a fighter. That's how you gain experience and you come back and become better. I mean, Diego Lopez himself lost to Movsar Evloev in his debut fight. He just lost to Alexander Volkanovski. Every time you do a training camp, you learn about the process, what you did right, what you did wrong. Now, Caio Borralho will be like, you know what? I'm not going to be the backup fighter a few weeks before because I feel that cost me. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But I would guess that definitely played a factor in his.
It certainly didn't. It didn't help. And I know he was trying to say that to us, that maybe it helped with the weight cut and this and that. But I mean, even Sean Strickland, that post that he put out there, there's a lot of truth in that, right? Where he even admitted in the gym he was kind of useless because he's cutting weight. Yeah, you peak for these fights. And if you're going through a weight cut 3 weeks before that, you are focused on dieting. You're focused on losing weight. You're focused on burning calories and not going hard. You don't want to be doing that 3 weeks before a main event fight. You want to be having your peak sparring rounds at that exact time.
Fully agree, Paul. But the flip side, though, to be fair to Caio, let's imagine who was it? It was Hamzat Andrikas. If for some reason Hamzat was sick, Caio would have got the title fight. Yeah. And he might have become champion of the world.
Because he would have been peaking for that fight. Yeah.
You roll the dice, and that's such his life. And he can't have any regrets. Can't have any regrets because you can't live your life like that. He made that decision. He stood by it. He made it. He went out there. He fought Imavov and he lost. But I think going forward, he would say that's not something I choose to do. That could have paid off massively. He could have became champion of the world on short notice without a training camp by being the backup fighter and would have been legendary shit. Yeah. But that's not the way it always works out.
No, it's not always sunshine and rainbows, right? I mean, and I think all these guys from the Fighting Nerds, I think they have good heads on their shoulders. I think they're going to all take these losses. They even talked about, I think Jean Silva said, we're all going to go have a meeting. We're going to sit down and we're going to say, okay, X, Y, Z, this is what you did. This is what I did. These are all the circumstances and things that we can improve upon. And if you're with a good team, with good teammates and good coaches, which I believe that they have, I think they'll figure it out. I mean, look at Benoit Saint-Denis. He did the same thing. He got caught up in the moment. He was, really distracted by all the praise that he had been getting. He was really just kind of like taking France on his shoulders and winning these big fights. Fights Poirier doesn't go his way. Didn't feel well for that fight. Might have had probably he had that staph infection. Then he goes and gets absolutely just murdered in Paris in front of his people to Moicano. And then he bounces back, gets a win, then gets a dominant win. It's like, it's all about how you handle this. What do you change? What do you alter? How do you come back from those situations? In mixed martial arts, you're going to take losses because like we were just talking about with boxing, there's too many ways for you to lose. There's too many things that can go wrong in mixed martial arts. You're going to have losses. Like you can get away with being undefeated. I mean, Crawford's what's his record? Like 40 something, because you can become an expert in that one thing. You can be the best guy, right? MMA, it's like you can throw a kick, fall, and you end up in a rear naked choke. I mean, you're gonna take a loss, and I think these guys have come back strong. I'm excited to see them all in their next fights. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Where they will sit down, they probably will have a team meeting Monday morning. They're probably all in the gym and discussing things. But I don't think it's necessarily a problem with the way that they're preparing for fights, because each fight, even though it's a team, it's an individual journey that you're on. Yeah. Yes, you have your coaches. Yes, you have your teammates, but it's you as a human being. We're going through this, the loneliest sport in the world. And it's the loneliest sport in the world when you're in that ring. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's necessarily something that they're doing wrong. It's just that those three guys who are the most prominent members of the team all stepped up, and had tough fights. And they just realize that they're not human. And the other fighters that they are fighting, you got to realize that, hold on, these guys are really good as well. And there is consequences to everything. There's consequences to taking shots. Jean Silva's great. He's a character. He's awesome. He's hanging off the side of the octagon, and all that stuff. And I hope he keeps that same shit, because that's what makes him a character. But when you take a loss like that, it's like you should start to realize, shit, hold on a minute. I'm not Superman. I am human. You know, I can get knocked out. I can get dropped. You know what I'm saying? So it's having that ability to know that. That's what makes fighters so great, because we know that, but you still go out there and you still exude confidence and you still have the balls to step in the ring. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's why we can talk like this, Paul, because we've done it ourselves. You know, we're not criticizing them in any way, shape, or form. There's zero criticism. I commend them all. And I think they'll all be back. And I think they're a credit to the sport of mixed martial arts. But that's the game, man. You're going to lose at some point.
It's the game. That's the game. Yeah. And I agree. I hope they don't throw everything out the window. It's like, no, you guys got into those positions in those main events, in those big fights, in those co-main events for Hoofy and all. Like, you guys are good. You're really good. You're at a point where you're fighting the absolute best. You just need to make small adjustments. What did I do in that fight that maybe got me caught by that spinning elbow? Was I being too aggressive? It's small little adjustments that, just like any fight, even if he had won, he should still look back. Okay, why did round one go that way? Did I throw that spinning back kick? Was that telegraphed? Did I do this? Do I need to calm it down a little bit at certain points? You know, and saying for Caio, it's okay. I took that short notice, you know, stepping in as the backup fighter. Should I have done that? Did that alter my training camp? It's just minor little things that you got to deal with moving forward and just keep on keeping on.
You got to keep on keeping on. But I got to say, Paul, but we're not really being fair to Imavov, because Imavov looked goddamn fantastic. Right? But the hands on that boy right there, holy shit. I don't know why I started doing that. No,
he's so fast. Well, because I said keep on.
We're taking away from Imavov there a bit, because the speed of the hands was phenomenal. It was insane, you know. Yeah. Anyway, I want to talk about this, if you don't mind.
Oh,
Jean Silva, love the guy.
Yeah,
he's awesome. He's great, but he did jump up and punch Diego Lopez in the back of the head.
He sure did.
Harrington Bryan, jump on, please. Let's have a conflab.
He was real upset, and I don't disagree with that stoppage. You guys disagree with that stoppage?
Oh, hell no! No. For.
Yeah.
No, I didn't think that's what the cheap shot was over. I thought the cheap shot.
He went to the corner. He went to the corner.
He was talking to the cornerman who he had issues with during the week. Remember, it was like Diego said that the cornerman was staring him down, and then he got in the corner, and he's talking to the cornerman, going back and forth, and that's when Jean Silva pushed him and then got up and punched him.
So yeah, look, listen. I don't think they've just traded blows. They've just had a wild, epic fight, entertained the masses. The crowd was losing their minds. The atmosphere was electric. It didn't even really connect too much. It didn't do any damage. I'm sure Diego Lopez laughed it off. However, it's pretty bad. You know, I remember it reminds me of, and I'm not looking for any kind of punishment to go his way whatsoever. I'm not calling for that in the slightest, but it does remind me of when Paul Daly got up and went after Josh Koscheck after the bell. You know what I'm saying?
He got banned for life for that.
Never came back.
What the I don't know if nothing can happen because of this, but I think nothing is going to happen because of this.
I think if Dana was in the building, if he was there, I think it's the perfect storm. It might just get away with it. It was in San Antonio, Texas. The Nevada State Athletic Commission, I'm sure, would make a much bigger deal of this.
Yeah.
The UFC aren't in Texas too often. They're probably, I don't know. I'm not a regulatory guy, you know, but I'm just going to assume, because we haven't heard anything, that they're not too bothered about it. Down there in Texas, it's like, hey, biscuit flying, boy. You know?
It's a mutual combat state, dude. You're good.
Hey, listen. Yeah, exactly. They're fighting. They just beat the shit out of each other. What's one little job? You know what I mean?
And I don't blame Diego for doing what he did, man. And if you're doing all that leading up to that fight, kind of giving me the eye, talking shit, doing all, man, when it's over, I'm going right over to you and saying, what now?
Jorge Rivera, we know the whole story. He was talking mad shit. Yeah. It was his cornerman making the videos. So after I got the win, I had to go over and have a word and talk some shit. There was allegations that I tried to spit on him. I spat on the floor. We've been over this a million times. It was a regretful situation. Paul, what is the most What's a time in the UFC that you can look at where you might have lost your shit a little bit?
I don't think I ever got like really angry after a win in the UFC. I mean, after a loss, I stormed off after I lost to Edson the first time because in the moment I thought I won and like I stormed out of the cage and it didn't shake anybody's hand and all that. But there was a guy on the regional scene I remember that same thing, talked all this shit. He had all these people in the crowd that had Dragon Slayer t-shirts on and all this, and I knocked him out in the first round. And I got on top of him and gave him double middle finger, double birds, and stood over his face and stuff like that. I ended up becoming kind of cool with the guy after that. But yeah. Well, that's it. I never really had beef. I mean, Mike Perry would have been the only guy that I had some beef with leading into it. But after the fight, we were cool.
Yeah, no, Mike Perry is cool. I like that guy. All right, today's episode is sponsored by Shopify, that is here to help you. If you want to build a commerce platform that is selling to millions of people, if you've got a business idea and you want to get off the ground, but it seems a little intimidating, Shopify is here to simplify the process and make it super, super easy. It's going to give you a ton of support. And before you know it, you're going to be selling to a worldwide audience. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world, and 10% of all e-commerce in the United States comes from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. Get started with your own design studio. With hundreds of ready-to-use templates, Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store to match your brand style. Accelerate your content creation. Shopify is packed with helpful AI tools that write product descriptions, page headlines, and even enhance your product photography. Get the word out there like you have a full marketing team behind you. Easily create email and social media campaigns wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. And the best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. If you are ready to sell, you are ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into a profitable business with Shopify on your side. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period and start selling today at shopify.com/believe. Go to shopify.com/believe, shopify.com/believe. Sign up for $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/believe. All right, so there's the main event. Co-main event, Rob Font. We're not going to go through the whole ins and outs of the fight. Rob Font was defeated by David Martinez, only his second fight in the UFC.
Dude.
The finish, the end of the fight, right? Was it the co-main event where this happened? Where the referee didn't hear the buzzer? The referee didn't hear. It
might have been that one.
Yeah.
The referee didn't hear the buzzer. The buzzer went off because it must have been so loud in there. The referee's carrying on. And from what I saw, it looked like then the buzzer went off again. And then Dan Miragliotta steps in, waves the fight off. And it's like, no, it's the end of the fight. Am I getting that right? Because I was jet lagged and very, very tired. That's what I saw with one eye.
Yeah, I don't even really remember. I was dealing with a baby and a 3-year-old and a 10-year-old running around too. So I was equally distracted, but I do remember him doing that. Did they wave the fight off though? They didn't wait.
No. And correctly so, because he made it to the final bell. But I just think that Big Dan, great referee, awesome. Love that guy as well. Love that guy. I think it was just so loud.
I saw one of those tweets. It's like referee removed, and it showed Dan Miragliotta. You know that Twitter account.
But there's like a parody roster watch as well.
Yeah, it's a fake one.
Bring it up, Brian. Bring it up. Yeah,
they're always
putting shit like that. Yeah, I mean, Twitter is just an absolute cesspool of negativity and toxicity, but it is good for a laugh as well. I do find myself chuckling.
1,000%. You can. I'm laughing out loud multiple times a day from stuff that I see, and then also just hating humanity and society, and especially in the world that we're in right now with everything going on, and it's
the
wild.
world
it's a wild
is
time.
Officially crazy right now,
bro.
I mean, it's been done to death. The whole Charlie Kirk thing.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's worth
what
saying.
What are people doing? How can you celebrate that shit?
Celebrating anybody's death, I think it's just, you know, I think it's ridiculous.
I was sat by the pool in Ibiza, and Rebecca, for all the shit she talks about being bored, she's on her phone, and she says, Charlie Kirk's been shot. And obviously I've seen his content, but I was like, I knew the name. It took me a second to figure out. I'm like, oh, I've seen that guy. He's the guy that goes to the university campuses and debates.
Yeah, the people
She's
on
like,
the left.
He's been shot. I said, oh, is he going to be okay? She's like, no, he's dead. I'm like, oh, shit. And then, of course, and I never found, I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinions, but I always enjoyed the way that he would just debate people. Yeah, and he was very, very good at shutting people down. Yeah, he's a very skilled debater. He was a very, very skilled debater. And obviously, a lot of people aren't going to agree with his views. That's fine. Don't agree with them. So what? And obviously, this guy that went out and did that, I'm assuming he's mentally ill or whatever. But what disturbs me the most, I mean, not the most, that's a crazy statement. You know, the guy's clearly mentally ill. He's done that and he's got what's coming to him. He's probably going to get the death sentence and he deserves everything that comes his way. But all these people on social media celebrating the man's death, it makes me sick to my stomach, and it just makes me think, what is the world coming to? What do you think? How can you possibly think that that's a good idea to get your phone out and be like, oh, look at this. He's been dead.
You know, it's almost like the media's been
singing. Go on. Sorry, Bryce.
Sorry. It's almost like the media's been calling people Nazis and fascists and saying that we need to do anything in our power to stop them for 8 years almost.
Well, there is that side of things as well. But yeah, just seeing all that go down, it was a crazy, crazy week. So that's really sad. And you got to think, he's got a wife and daughters. It's just awful. And then Sunday morning, I get out of bed, again jet lagged. It's 5 a.m., which is early on a Sunday. And it's early anyway, but on a Sunday, it's particularly early. I was laying in bed for about half an hour. And I'm like, I might as well get up. So I'm downstairs, make a coffee, put the news on. Ricky Hatton has passed away.
Yeah. I wasn't ready for that one to come after the whole, I mean, just the debacle that the internet was with the whole Charlie Kirk situation. Do we know how Ricky passed?
So obviously, I know a lot of people in Manchester, so I made a couple of phone calls. I don't want to say I know this for sure, but Brian just put in the chat, self-inflicted. I heard.
That's what I would have had to have assumed.
I heard he had a heart attack. I heard he had a heart attack. Now, he did have, I posted a video of me and him hitting pads because I remember.
Yeah, just all that, man.
Just an absolute legend in every way. A fantastic boxer, a very, very funny guy, very accessible. People just loved the guy, you know, and he had his faults and he had his addiction issues and he had his drink problems and stuff like that. But he's a great human being, you know, and he was just struggling. And I read an article the other day that he was constantly contemplating suicide, you know, and he often had a knife to his wrists every night. And just, you know, you think because he was a multiple-time world champion, he earned about £50 million throughout his career. You think you've got it all, but then, you know, his personal relationships and then, you know, with his wife and stuff like that kind of falls apart, you know, and all the money in the world doesn't mean anything, you know, and just because you step in the ring and you're a tough guy, you know, what goes on in here, and I respect him because he always spoke so openly about it, as did Tyson Fury as well, you know. And then, so I don't know if it was self-inflicted. I don't know if it was a heart attack. The person I spoke to said it was a heart attack, said he was having a lot of financial difficulty as well. That's why he had a boxing fight coming up. I don't know any of that stuff, but I do know the man was an absolute goddamn legend.
Yeah, I remember watching his fights. I always liked watching Ricky Hatton fights when I was a little younger, and then seeing how he would get humongous in between. And as a guy who, you know, and we've talked about this, who would go and have our fun in between fights and then get back in shape, he was a guy that was like, Ricky Hatton can do it. I'm sure I can do it and blow up and then get back on track. But
When he used to fight in Vegas, there would be literally, it was kind of like Conor McGregor. When Conor McGregor first started fighting in the States, the Irish taking over Las Vegas. It was like that. You know what I mean? There was thousands and thousands of Brits coming over to watch Ricky Hatton. And just the atmosphere was unbelievable. And then he would walk out, always make fun of himself. He always put on a show. He was always entertaining. I never forget, there were some points where when he fought Floyd Mayweather, and Floyd Mayweather was, giving his whole thing and like throwing money around and all the rest of it. And Ricky Hatton just came up to the microphone and he's throwing money up in the air or something. And Ricky's like, hey, can I have that? And he's grabbing just the most humble, down-to-earth guy. And he just used to hang out.
I'll take that cash.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'll have some of that. I forget the exact wording, but it was very, very funny. And that's just who he was to his core. He was just an endearing, average guy that obviously hit the highest heights in boxing. You have a lot of people staring at you, a lot of public vision, a lot of eyes on you and scrutiny. Yeah. And he had his demons. He had his demons just like we all do. No one's perfect. And I've certainly got my demons. Sadly, I saw him a couple of times in Manchester on a night out, and he was obviously under the influence very, very heavily, but I can't judge anybody for that. People will have seen me in that condition many, many times. But I was just shocked, saddened, and kind of heartbroken, to be honest. Well, I shared that video of me hitting pads on Instagram with Ricky. That was in promotion for one of my fights in the UK with the UFC. And they set that up. We're from a similar area and stuff. And I remember at that time we're hitting pads, and he was a phenomenal pad man as well. He was really, really good. And I remember the whole time just thinking, this is crazy. I'm hitting pads with Ricky Hatton. You know what I'm saying? But trying to act cool at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy over there in general. Did you see, and I'm sure Brian and Harrington, I don't know if you guys saw this,
Unite the flags or whatever it is?
The big protest that just happened over there?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, here's the power.
I just found this video up here.
So it's crazy because you don't know what to believe, what you're saying, Paul. And we'll just wait for a change of angle here, and we'll see some real fluidity. Get it back on there, Brian. Let me just jerk myself off a little bit here. Back in my prime. Hold on. It's not the best angle here. You can't see too much. Yeah, the protests at the weekend that Tommy Robinson organized. Obviously, there's two different outlets or agendas or media views. Apparently everyone's far right, and then apparently everyone's not.
You're one or the other, or you don't care. That's where it's at these days. And that's the arguments that I have with some of my friends, man, that are very extreme each way. I've got some friends that are super in this. I don't even know how you can even call yourself far left today in the current climate, and vice versa. When you're too extreme on any side, I'm like, but the people that kind of find themselves in between now, you didn't choose. You don't belong to anybody. And it drives me nuts. But look at this.
I heard it was 3 million people.
This is happening.
Well,
this is going to start happening in the United States too, where people they're feeling like their own country and their own people of that country don't matter anymore, right? Whether you believe that or you don't believe that, that is what people feel. And you can see it in the UK right now. You can see it in England that they feel like being English and having the true heritage of that country isn't as important as all of the other shit that needs to be worried about first. And clearly a lot of people are upset about it enough so that this is what shows up.
There's nutters on both sides. You got the far left, you got the far right, and people on the far left are just out of their minds. People on the far right are typically, racist and assholes. But the thing is, there was a lot of people there because I saw a lot of interviews on Twitter with very, very level-headed people. And they were there because they're kind of sick of getting shafted by the government. The government doesn't give a shit about them. And obviously there's a whole immigration thing. Listen, I'm all for legal immigration. I'm all for people that come from war-torn countries getting help and all the rest of it. But at a certain point, when the country is on its arse, taxes are through the absolute roof. The working man can't afford to get a foothold on society, can't afford to put a deposit down on a house. There's homeless everywhere. People are going hungry. The cost of food's going through the roof. But then yet they're bringing in thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of illegal immigrants, and it's all bloody military-aged men that are all fine, and they're all getting put up in nice hotels, and they're getting free healthcare, and they're getting all the rest. I'm all for helping the average person, but it's when it comes at the cost of people that have lived there the whole life and paid into the system and paid taxes. And I think that's just what they're kind of getting sick of, you know. So, and I haven't lived there for a long time, but I have a lot of friends, obviously. I have family there, and I don't want to piss anyone off with what I say, but I don't think that makes you far right. I don't think that makes you a racist.
But yeah, that's where I'm at. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, is that it doesn't. It's like, you know, it's just getting crazy, man.
Like this is something, but I heard Joe Rogan say this, and he's absolutely right. You know, and I'll say this: we were just in China. You know what I saw? A lot of Chinese.
Yeah.
I was just in Spain. A lot of Spanish people. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong. Yes, listen, diversity.
You go to London right now, and
you don't see too many English.
So many English.
You know, I'm all for multiculturalism. That's great, but But when you go to a country, you know, you should have. You know, if it's England, you should have a lot of English there. If you go to America, it should be mainly Americans. Go to China, it's mainly Chinese. Japan, Japanese. Yeah, help other people out, allow immigration. I'm English living in America, for crying out loud. I'm the poster child for immigration, you know, but I'm legal. I do it on a green card, and it costs me a fortune. You know what I'm saying? And it takes some time. And I've had to go to many meetings and interviews and all the rest of it. You know what I'm saying? People are just fed up with the shit and the state of things and the government not caring about them. And then also, and then on top of that, you got people thrown in jail, apparently 30 a day for social media posts and stuff like that. And you put it all together, they're just sick of it all. So it's just like, hold on a minute, we got to do something about this.
Yeah. I saw one clip where a guy said, I mean, now I don't know what kind of protest it was or what kind of gathering it was. And do I think you should go there and say this? But the one guy said, I love bacon to a bunch of Muslim people.
I saw that one.
Who gives a Is that right? Are you being insulted? But I can't walk up to you and say, I hate your face.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
You're an ugly piece of shit. You can't be thrown in jail for that. You shouldn't be.
Yeah. Like, what are we doing here?
You're openly being offensive. You're being a prick, but you're not attacking anybody.
Tell them to get the hell out of here.
You know, or physically. And people just need to toughen up in general. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? If you're going to, you know, like I was even having this conversation with Callum last night because we were talking about this. It's all far right hooligans. I'm like, no, it's not all far right hooligans. Yes, there will be a certain demographic, which is a very small, tiny percentage. But from what I understand, there's a lot of people that are just fed up with the system. A lot of working class people that are struggling, that aren't getting looked after, and the government are focusing on other shit that doesn't help them.
Well, I mean, look at what just happened. Somebody got murdered, got shot in the neck and bled out all over a college campus. The side, and I'm not saying even which side I'm on, but the side that's supposed to, in front of his kids and his wife, the side that's supposed to be for equality and acceptance and, you know, really supporting everyone, are celebrating and smiling and laughing and putting videos out, and musicians that are pro-Palestine and all this. They're against genocide. They're against all this, but a guy gets shot in the throat because he doesn't have the same opinion as you. And maybe even what he's saying, in your opinion, is very wrong or hateful. If we start thinking that it's okay for guys to get shot in the throat in front of thousands of people, where does it end? Like, when does it? Where do we go from here at that point then? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. All right, this episode is brought to you by Cash App, that makes sharing cash very, very easy. All you do, you just sign up to get started, and you just push a button and you can send money to whoever you want. No more walking around with massive wads of cash if you can afford to do that. If you also want some money, you want to pay a bill, whatever it is, Cash App is here to assist. And Cash App does more than what you think when it comes to having your back and making sure money stays your money. If you direct deposit at least $300 in paychecks each month and you use the Cash App for purchases, you can unlock up to $200 in free overdraft coverage. If you overdraft unexpectedly, there are no hidden fees. Manage your money on your terms and take advantage of free overdraft coverage up to $200 on Cash App today. For a limited time only, Cash App customers can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. For real, all you got to do is download Cash App, use our exclusive referral code, Cash App 10, that's 2 P's, Cash APP10 in your profile. Send $5 to a friend within 14 days and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Overdraft coverage provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. As you can tell, we love to bitch about travel, but this shouldn't be your place for commentary, political commentary, and it's not. So, should we move on? Harrington, jump on. Give us a topic. Give us a subject.
All right, you want MMA or non-MMA?
I feel like we've just done like a lot of non-MMA.
Okay. Well, how about this one? I mean, this is breaking news. This isn't even on the sheet, so tell me if I can pack this right up. But I'm seeing reports that Anthony Fluffy Hernandez is going to be out of UFC Vancouver. Paulo Costa has stepped up and said they called me to take a very short notice main event. I asked my opponent for 3 rounds because of how short it is. He said, no, I'm going to show up anyway and show him. A lot of people reporting that UFC Vancouver is going to feature Paulo Costa and Renier de Ridder now.
What?
And you'll be there, Paul. Hopefully on a direct flight.
I doubt it. Wow.
That's a shame.
Yeah, I mean, and we were just, the big talk when KO and Imavov were fighting was who is going to fight next for the belt. And that was the fight. Hey, if Paulo does slide in there though and gets a dub, I mean, is Paulo Costa in the mix?
No, I mean, listen, fair play. He's a good fighter. He's had a good lengthy career. He kind of fell off for a little bit. He kind of, was a little funnier on social media than known for his fighting ability. But last time, I forget who it was, he showed up. He looked like the Paulo Costa of old. He looked like he was taking it seriously again, and he looked really great. And the fact that he's stepping up short notice, fair play. If Fluffy Hernandez is not a pull-out merchant, he's not the type of guy to pull out unless there's a real injury or a real reason, a personal tragedy. Who knows what it could be? So that is a goddamn shame. Well, Harrington, we've bad news.
Sorry to ruin your day, fellas.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
It's okay. For those that don't realize, we just came back from a short break there.
Oh.
Paul's eating. Oh,
it's a baby.
Stella, right? Stella?
Yeah.
Thank you. God sake.
It's a bright lights for the baby.
Sorry. Oh,
jeez. Come on, Stella. Come on. Bless
we're
her.
going to give him back. Oh, she wants mommy.
We just had a little break. Paul's having some salami and cheese. I'm absolutely starving.
So good.
I indulged last week a bit too much, so I'm trying to get on the straight and narrow. I've got to do an audition this week as well, so I can't be all puffy. And I've got to do an American accent, and I can't do one. But I'm gonna try.
How can you not do an American accent at this stage?
I'm gonna try. I've been practicing this morning when we dropped Lucas off, and then we went to the gym. I was doing the piece in the car.
But what kind of American?
That's too American.
That's the real question. Where's the just generic American?
Generic American. Like all I gotta. Yeah, it's.
You gotta talk more forward in your mouth. You know.
Yeah, no, you gotta talk
Delaware County.
Talk from the roof of your mouth.
Yeah.
It'll be talking more like this, Paul. So let's get on with the podcast. I sound like somebody.
Let's get on. Get on.
Get on.
On.
Paul.
If you were from my area, you'd say on. Get on.
Yeah, but bro,
on.
I can't talk like that. You know what I'm saying, Paul?
Yeah, it might be easier for you if you had to do like a specific, very strong dialect from like
Mid-Atlantic.
New York.
What is that? Mid-Atlantic. You know, you're a thespian.
It's probably just generic.
Got him muted.
No,
didn't do it though.
It's that old timey talk that nobody actually like. Hey, Shane, you got to head on down to the pipe.
Come on now.
Hey! I want my agents to take me seriously.
What's that cost? 2 bits.
So, sir, let me see. Like
take a hat off now. See,
I got a dame to
like
see.
You're gone. I'm like, see,
taking a dame out on a date now. See.
Harrington, what are we talking about here? It's been a couple of weeks. There must be something that we've got to talk about.
Yeah, kind of cool. We got a couple of details out for the UFC's White House card. So Dana White came out this week. He said 90,000 people are going to be in attendance. It's going to be about 10 to 15,000 on the South Lawn, and then a park across the street is going to house the rest of the fans. He said that the fight itself is going to take place at the White House, the weigh-ins at the Lincoln Memorial, and then this week, obviously, did a lot of press for Canelo versus Crawford. Everyone was asking about Jon Jones at that UFC White House card. Dana White made it very clear, despite the fact that Jon Jones called him and apologized for the Tom Aspinall situation, he simply cannot trust Jon Jones to main event that card, and he will not be the headline.
Man, is this finally a little backlash for everything that he's put them through? Are they finally
I don't blame him. Yeah. I don't. And all you little dickheads in the comment section, here you go, glazed Dana. No, you can't blame the man. What did he do? He promoted him. He stuck to his guns. He says the pound for pound number one. They even put that video package out. They gave him the 30 million. Apparently, I don't know if that's true, but apparently that's the number that's floating around. And then in the end, decides to double barrel, that, go off to Thailand, live his best life, mess everyone around, have Tom Aspinall waiting on the sidelines for bloody God knows how long. And then when a big opportunity like the White House comes along, says, hold on. Let's not be too hasty.
Hold on.
I want a piece of that.
Yeah.
I'd say, if that was me, I'd say, go f*** yourself.
Yeah.
Don't clip that, you little MMA websites. Don't clip that, you dickheads, if you do, because they will. They will.
They always do. They always find the clickbaity stuff in anything that's said.
Bisping says he would tell Jon Jones to go f*** himself. It's a figure of speech, guys. No. But you can't blame him. If I was Dana, I would say, all right, you want to fight in the White House? Prove it.
Yeah, fight first.
Fight first.
Yeah.
Fight first. You're heavyweight. You don't have to make weight. The fight's not going to be until next June.
Yeah, he says he's been training. I've seen interviews with him recently where he's like, I've been in the gym 5 days a week doing this and that. And it's like, well, okay. Well, then there should be no reason you should go smoke somebody, which, let's all be honest, you can probably do, John, with a couple months of training. You can go in there and get a dub. You go get a dub. If Tom goes and gets a dub, that fight could happen, and I think they'd be willing to do it. And again, there's time to make that happen if they trust that you're back committed. But they also worry that after any fight, you don't know what he's going to do. Even if it is some warm-up fight for him to go and fight somebody in the top 5, top 10 of the UFC, they just don't know what's going to happen with him. And again, that's the problem.
Here's what I would suggest. It would be, all right, so Tom's fighting Cyril Gane in Abu Dhabi. By the way, Tales from the Octagon will be happening in Abu Dhabi, guys. Okay? Tales from the bloody Octagon returns. Abu Dhabi, get your tickets. I don't know the link, otherwise I'd say it, but anyway, it'll be happening. I think Tom beats Cyril. I've said that very openly, but maybe he doesn't. But anyway, let's assume that he does. That's October. You say, right, John, you want to prove yourself? You want to fight on the White House? Well, be a man of your word. Fight Tom Aspinall. Fight Tom in around February, March even. February, October, November, December, January, Feb. Plenty of time for Tom to turn around. Fight Tom in February. Win or lose, we'll stick you on the White House card. But you got to fulfill your obligations. You got to do what you said you were going to do. You got to make this situation right. And if he beats Tom, then Jesus Christ, it's even bigger. Put him on the White House card. And
I know, but then who does he fight?
Well, who cares? If he beats Tom, he's the champion of the world anyway.
Yeah.
But my point is that he's proved that he can be reliable. And he proves that he isn't going to do the same thing, because this is the thing, and I assume this is why Dana's doing this. This is going to be historic, right? It's the White House, for crying out loud. You know, I heard that the fighters are going to start their walk in the Oval Office, and I saw that on Twitter, so I don't know if that's true.
Really?
But I did see that from like a reputable source.
The security on this event, I don't envy anybody that has to work that.
Steve,
I will not be working it. I won't be working it. I can tell you that now. I don't know that, but I can tell you that now that I won't be working that event.
I guarantee I'm not calling that event
somewhere. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be calling it. But the clearance is going to be crazy for that. And with the current climate of the country, I don't even know if I want to be there.
Yeah, I'll get deported. They'll be like, hey, this guy's an immigrant. Get him out of here.
You sound funny. Where are you from?
Yeah, where you from, dickhead? No. So I'll end up in Guatemala.
You better get that American accent ready.
Hey, man.
Come on, see? What are you talking about, see?
I just come here for the White House card, man. You know, that Jon Jones. Is he really going to be on this?
I'm a Dapper Dan, man.
Come on, man. Yeah. I don't blame Dana for saying, no, you can't do that. I understand that Jones wants to do that. Conor wants to do that. Apparently, Conor's all in, though. He's no longer running for the president of Ireland. But Dana's, from the public statements that I've seen, seems like he's very much in the running. Don't tell me that it's going to be Conor versus Chandler. And after all this time, Michael Chandler is finally going to get the fight.
He still wins at the end. It doesn't matter. He still gets that dub. I mean, hey, fair play to him if that does end up happening. If he still gets that fight after losing, after waiting, after all that, I'd honestly be happy for Michael Chandler in that situation. If that, after all the bullshit he had to put up with and not happening, if he ends up fighting him on the White House of all places, that would that'd be good for him.
Yeah, no, but hey, listen, I don't blame Dana though. I mean, because for a while it was like say something about Jones, because he was messing him around and messing the fans around and messing the sport around and just making a mockery out of everything. And I was like, no, you're not fighting at the White House. I don't trust you. And that's what happens. What else have we got, Harrington? Oh, I see you've got here in the notes real quick, because we're talking about Tom Aspinall and Jones.
Oh, yeah.
You got something about some Tom Aspinall getting jumped when two of the Sidemen tried to mug Tom Aspinall. I'm assuming this is a skit. What are the Sidemen?
I don't know if it's a skit. I mean, it is certainly content. But it was two guys from the Sidemen, which I believe is KSI's crew. They shot a video with Tom Aspinall where they were trying to the idea was these two guys try to mug Tom Aspinall and see how it would go for them. And
not good, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is the heavyweight. This is the baddest man on the planet, and these guys are YouTube creators. Like, of course, it's going to go poorly for them. But a bunch of believers sent it to me in the time we had off, so I figured it would make it into the notes.
Well, let's have a look.
Good, yeah, really good. Could we just quickly roleplay one with Jack? Maybe just him being a mugger and you show.
Yeah, can you rob him? What? Two? You're going to get it.
You all right, fella?
No, I'm just. We haven't said we're going to rob you yet.
All right. He's the alpha.
Right. I'm the. Yeah. Are you both going to try? Because I reckon I could take both of you.
A bit overconfident. What you've got on your nutter?
The acting skills aren't very good.
You got my car keys.
My car keys, I think you mean, pal.
Not today.
Well, what have you got yourself on your t-shirt? That's a bit vain. Hello.
You're not wrong, actually. You're not wrong there.
Please don't speak of other t-shirts.
How about you take those trousers off and pass me the keys?
Yeah, Tom.
Pass me your keys.
Yeah. Oh, you're in the danger zone now.
Like a ninja.
Distract him. Come on. Okay. You can have my keys. Have my keys. Have my keys. Jack, the woman's got them.
I'm almost
a wrist lock. He hits him with a wrist lock.
Enjoy the manipulation.
Okay, they're right there. They're right there. Okay. I regret it.
Hey, I tell you what, those lads are pretty funny. It's like, oh, look at you. You're on name.
You're in the danger zone now. I saw a video with Tom where he did like, there's this I think he's Norwegian, and I think he was a rock climber, and he does YouTube content, all this, and he goes with like special forces services, does all their training. He did the Norseman triathlon on like 2 weeks training. He went with Tom, did some MMA stuff, joking around, and like just learning how to throw leg kicks. But then he had Tom like doing rock climbing stuff. Dude, Tom did really, really well considering he's a big, massive guy and was doing like the indoor like rock climbing wall stuff. He's a freaking athlete, man.
Well, he is, and I hate to toot my own horn, but the largest indoor rock climbing facility in the world is in Abu Dhabi. And I scaled that bad boy all the way to the top. Me and Matt Serra, we both made it to I don't know if you saw Dana White looking for a fight, Abu Dhabi 2020.
I do remember that. Yeah. Did you do this?
Because Dana said
you did the skydiving thing too, right?
I did the skydiving thing. Brian, bring that up if you can.
I remember when you had to go to that. I remember that.
I was not very graceful, shall we say, on the skydiving. I was all over the place. It was a good laugh. But I was climbing up the wall. And then, Dana's stinking rich. Is that, I tell you what, if you make it to the top, you got $5,000 cash. I'm like, I'm getting to the top, baby. I'm getting to the top. So, yeah. We got that $5,000.
I'd have got to the top and done a dance.
Oh, yeah. Cash, baby, cash.
But yeah, that rock climbing shit, man, it's different, right? You think like, you look at it and you're like, okay, but then you start grabbing some of those pieces and they get harder. You can do, there's like, there's ones where you have to like hang upside down and put your toe on like a certain thing. And he was doing those, like it wasn't even high, but it was a skillful one where he was showing the Tom like where he had to grab and what he had to do. Damn,
Just fast forward a bit there, Brian, to the indoor skydiving, because the indoor skydiving, we tried that as well, which I'd always wanted to try. It's a little harder than what it looks to actually float and stay. I was just at the top. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what did I do then? Just turn it off. And
what did that just come down?
Turn it off. It's a 300-foot drop. All right, this episode is brought to you by Prizepicks, and Prizepicks is the simplest game to play if you want to make some money. All you got to do is pick more or less on a 2 to 6 player stat projection, and if you get your picks right, you could cash in. Like if we're talking about MMA, will Ilia Topuria land more or less than 2 takedowns? Pick 2 to 6 apps just like that, and you are off to the races. If you are correct, you can make a lot of money. Prizepicks puts their users first, so all withdrawals, by the way, are fast, safe, and secure. Prizepicks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. And Prizepicks also offers injury reboots. If one of your players leaves the game in the first half and doesn't return, Prizepicks won't count it as a loss. So yes, of course, we're talking about the football season, which is well underway. So this week, Saquon Barkley, will he get more or less than 1 rushing touchdown? Josh Allen, will he get more or less than 270 passing yards? That is 2 stats that you could use, and you can do 2 to 6 stats if you really want to cash in. So download the Prizepicks app today. Use the code BELIEVE to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code BELIEVE to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prizepicks. It's good to be right. Oh, dear. Let me ask you, those guys bring up a good point talking about Tom Aspinall. Fighter merch with your own names on. I've always felt a bit weird about that. Now, I've had lots over the years, and of course, when you fight, you have one and you want to wear it and you want to promote it, and we're going to do some merch for the podcast and all that shit. We are, and we're going to be on those. But I don't think I'd wear them just out and about. I understand Tom's on a video there, so going to get a lot of views. So he wants to promote it. He wants to sell it and make some money. But how do you feel about people wearing their own merchandise? It's a little on the CRINGE side for me.
Yeah. I never did it. I'm bad about all that. I mean, and I'm probably missing out on lots of opportunities because of it and all that. But yeah, I've never really had much merch. I think the last time I had a shirt made that was promoting me as a fighter was back when I was fighting for CFFC, to be fair. And I still have some floating around in the,
yeah. You still get them on back catalog, you know. And then there was a phase, obviously we had the whole affliction phase. Of t-shirts. All like the foil and the dragons and all that. And then, but then the gold foil lettering of your own name on a t-shirt. It was like, oh God, it just looked so bad. So bad. How was that ever a trend or a phase?
It was so in at the time. And it just, dragons, you look back at some of these shirts, you're like bedazzled. It looks like it looks like a 5-year-old made that shirt half the time.
Yeah. Really, really bad. What else we got, Harrington?
Nothing. I just found a great Michael Bisping shirt.
Go on, show me. Are you serious?
Yeah, I just dropped it in the chat. Somebody's selling it on TeePublic right now.
No, that's not real. That cannot be real.
$23, it could be yours.
$23, it could be very real and in your home.
Puffy, like definitely had a few drinks the night before face on your chest for $23. It's a bargain. It's a steal. It's the sale of the century.
All right,
we'll glue some gemstones on there for you.
Yeah, $26 special.
So I think this went super duper viral last week. Sean Strickland had a run in with America's favorite new jiu-jitsu black belt, Derek Moneyberg.
Let's have a look.
Crazy enough, guys. Look who I ran into. This guy's real big, real jacked. He says, why do I call him a scumbag on the internet? This is why I asked him. And again, you could say...
So you got to do that for camera. You can't have a private conversation like an adult. You can only do things for the internet. You can't have a private
conversation. Because what I have to say is factual. And you guys...
It's not factual.
So you guys, let me tell you why I don't... Would I like to get free money from this guy? Yeah, sure, dude. Would I pay me money for
But Sean, when I just asked you, hey, you have a conversation.
Well, you asked me why I called you a scumbag.
Then you need to have your camera. You can only talk on the internet.
But I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I called you a scumbag.
Only on the internet.
But I'll tell you why I called you a scumbag.
You're the one being the scumbag right now.
No, I'll tell you why.
I'm saying it to your face.
I'll tell you why.
You're the one being the scumbag right now.
I love my fans more than anything, you guys. And would I love to go take free money from this guy and peddle? Yeah, would I love to make free money from this guy? I would. I absolutely would. I would love to. But...
All right, Brian, we get the idea. So you can probably go off on a tirade of abuse about the latest jiu-jitsu black belt, which has been causing quite a bit of controversy. And, of course, the whole argument is that he has access to the best coaches in the world and high-level guys and Jake Shields and I forget all the other ones, you know, you name it. He's been training with them all and he did it in record time, did it faster than BJ Penn did.
That dude looks like a bag of leaves. What the
like, listen, what? I know I've had an interaction with this guy and I know you have as well, Paul, because let me tell you, so I was approached to go and do a podcast in Las Vegas. And I don't mind saying this because of the story that I'm about to tell you now. So I don't care shitting on this guy a bit because he treated me like a dickhead. And I'm not a dickhead. And I've never spoken to him since. And he did invite me to do some speaking engagements and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, no, you're good. Thanks. You're good. So I get asked to do a podcast and they'll pay me $5,000 to go do a podcast. I'm in Vegas anywhere for the UFC. So I'll go and do it. Yeah, sure. And it's this guy, Derek Moneyberg at the Trump Hotel. He said, whatever time it was, be there 1 p.m. It's a Sunday. I'm commentating at the Apex. I got a little tap on the head. And I have a little 5K. And I was going to get an extra 5. If you get the jokes, they're going to get $5,000 to go and do it on the Sunday. But the Vegas marathon was on the Sunday, right? So I was a little bit late. I couldn't help it. You couldn't get the place was shut down. It was the Vegas marathon. It's a big thing. So I was about 20 minutes late or so. Anyway, I get in. And I tell the front desk who I'm here to see. And he said, okay, he's going to come down. And he makes me hang around in the lobby for about 30 minutes now to make his point, because I kept him waiting. And he comes over and he kind of like summons me over like this. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, sorry I'm late. I said the marathon. I said the city's kind of shut down. And just nods like that. And we get in the elevator and we're going up to his room. And I'm like just trying to make small talk. And he's just staring straight ahead like that. And then he just like comes out of the blue and goes, I did insist that you are not late for our appointment, but you were late. I will let it slide this one time, but never again. And I'm like, you dickhead, I've just told you the marathon's on, right? I wasn't doing it on purpose to be disrespectful. And then we walked in, we sat down, we did the podcast. And all he did was talk about himself. Do you know what I mean? I thought he'd talk about fights and this and that, and he's just talking about his money-making schemes and all the rest of it. I'm like, get me the out of it. I've come this far. I'll sit through it. I'll get my check for $5,000 then I'll piss off. So I don't blame Sean Strickland one little bit. Is he a legit black belt? I don't know. But he's a little bit of a strange guy. I do know that. What's your story, Paul?
Same thing. Offered me money, come do a podcast. Did it. You know, just again, a weird vibe in there.
A weird vibe.
Didn't do anything weird to me. Like I don't remember. I remember getting there and parking and kind of being like, all right, Trump Hotel or whatever it is, and getting up there to the room. And yeah, we talked a lot about him and not so much about the guest that was brought on. And again, like
I don't know you.
I don't know anything about money, but I get that it's about just being successful and whatever venture you're trying to do. And I get that he's just trying to get interesting people from MMA, which he loves, obviously. And again, not even to get into the BJJ black belt of the whole thing, but I saw another thing where he was claiming like his body fat percentage and things like that. And I haven't seen you train jiu-jitsu, but I got eyeballs. And I've had my body fat measured over the years from being a fighter and being an athlete post fight career. And I know what 8 to 10% body fat looks like.
You're ripped.
And it ain't that guy.
8 to 10% body fat.
I think he was claiming that he's 10% or under. Okay. And you know, anything 10 or under, you're getting lean. Like you're getting lean at 10% and under. And that guy we saw in the video, and you know, Derek's at the Apex all the time. More credit to you for loving the sport, brother.
Exactly.
Body fat.
I thought he was 10% body fat. I thought he was an MMA fan. He is an MMA fan, and he's always at the Apex and fair play. And I thought it was a way to bring attention, to have an interesting guest on, and that'll bring people to his podcast, and he'll take a moment to plug whatever he does and all the rest of it. He'll just I'll talk about my journey. Not that I'm being narcissistic. It's that I don't know this guy from Adam. Right. So I can't talk about your financial plans and your get rich quick schemes and all the rest of it, because I don't know what you do. I don't even know if that's what it is, but I do see some accusations that he runs these courses and stuff like that. But I was just sitting there like I was just being used. And then like he was the kind of disrespectful. So when I saw Sean Strickland doing that, I was kind of laughing because the whole thing was weird. And then I saw Joe Rogan talking about it and saying all he's got to do to prove his level of grapple is show himself drilling, right? And I don't want to be mean.
No, but it's true. Like if you're a legit black belt, bro, we just have to see you grapple. Like, here you go. So he's claiming to be 10%, which you just saw in that video. Okay,
8% there, 10%.
And these are all different body types, right? Obviously, it looks different on different people. That ain't it.
Well, I will say this. He is pretty jacked. He is jacked.
But jacked does not mean low body fat necessarily.
I'm with you. But anyway, there's a video because Joe Rogan said all he's got to do is drill. And there was a video of him drilling. And he put it all together and had it edited to show, you know. And he was doing some leg locks. And it wasn't particularly smooth, you know. And I'm not being that guy. I'm not being a hater. I'm not a mean guy. I'm not. I have my moments where I might lose my temper because I can have a short fuse at times and be a dick. But I don't like to talk shit about people for no reason, you know. But what I saw wasn't black belt level drilling. In my humble brown belt opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. A lot of people are going to send this to him and he's going to talk shit. And we're going to see him at the Apex. He's going to be like, bro, I'm 7%.
Gordon Ryan kind of defended him on Joe Rogan recently.
What did Gordon Ryan say?
With legitimate champions, and he has like some of the best ability to recall information that I've ever seen. Like I can teach him something. I could teach him something.
Autism. Why autism?
I can teach him something, and I come back a year later, and he's like, oh, we worked on this, and this last time. And
so I guess you do a black belt as far as knowledge rolling with you guys, but as far as competition goes, is he executing it in against other guys besides you guys?
He doesn't compete. He has no aspirations.
No, he means in training, like sparring. Like does he go against other like purple belts, brown belts?
So he trains with the guys who he comes in to train him. So he doesn't have like a lot of looks. Like he doesn't go to like a normal gym and train, which I think is something that's important to do just for your just personal journey in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But like if Derek rolled with like a regular black belt in a gym, he'd do fine.
Maybe, right? Because he's not doing it. It's like when Brian told me he's really good at tennis, and I said, "Are you paying the instructor?"
Well, I didn't say I was really good at tennis, but like
you know what I'm saying? Like if you're paying the guy.
I train with normal black belt at the gym, and I train with Derek when I go there. Like I'm telling you, he would do fine against a normal black belt.
Well, then
well, this is the problem when people are on the payroll. That's not all that Gordon Ryan said. Gordon Ryan also said that the majority of people in mixed martial arts at a high level are doing steroids. Did you see that?
No.
Takes one to know one?
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean.
Well, it takes one to know one, but doesn't he train a lot with Jon Jones? Anyway, we've waffled on for quite some time there. Paul, I know you have a flight to get on.
Yeah.
If you want, I'll handle questions by myself. I'll do questions by myself and let you get out of it. How long have you got till your flight?
I gotta leave in like probably 30 minutes.
Shit. And you got to pack.
Yeah, I haven't packed yet.
I think it's time you left. I think it's time you got out of it, Paul. We appreciate you. But get the hell out of here. I'm forcing you. Boom.
bympod@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment. It helps the algorithm.
Yes. Get out of here. Go.
All right. Later, guys.
Have a good show tomorrow. It's just me riding solo. But like Paul said, if you do have a question, please send it into bympod@gmail.com. We will endeavor to answer them if you send them in and you make it interesting and all the rest of it. Do like and subscribe the video, please. It does help the algorithm, as Paul Felder pointed out. Brian Harrington, jump on. What have we got this week? Do we have any questions? Am I talking for no reason whatsoever?
Well, we have some questions that were from last week that are a little dated, and then we have a couple of questions for now.
Okay.
All
okay.
Right. So
let's and Harrington, you can do questions with me.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Great.
Let's answer the people.
This one's from Adam.
You tell me to go myself.
Who said that?
Adam from Omaha here. I had a question about the heavyweight division weight limit that I've been wanting to ask for a while. Just wanted to know why the 40-pound weight limit is allowed in the heavyweight division, yet it's only a pound in every other division below it. It seems to me like that 40 pounds could be just as much of an advantage or disadvantage depending on the fighter, and just wanted to see your take on it, and I'm sure there's something I'm not thinking of. So appreciate it. Love the show, Mike and Paul. You have families, man. Do your thing and don't let the believers get on your case. Hope everything's good with your mom, your daughter, and Harrington, Brian, keep up the great work. Talk to you guys soon.
Oh,
that was nice. That was a good question. But I'll be honest, as nice as that was, what's he talking about?
He wants to know why the range at heavyweight is so large, where at every other weight class it's like 10 pounds.
Yeah, it's actually 60 pounds.
I was going to say it's 10 pounds or it's 20 pounds from 185 to 205. And then it's heavyweight. They don't have a cruiserweight division. I would like to see a cruiserweight division. I've said that for quite some time, but yeah, it's light heavyweight and then it's heavyweight. And that's just the way it is. And yeah, there is a massive 60-pound weight jump. But that's just the structure of the weight classes. In boxing, you have a cruiserweight division. Mixed martial arts doesn't have one. I would like to see one. Because I think there'd be I don't know. I mean, heavyweight's already not the deepest division as it is. You know what I'm saying? And you would get a lot of the talent jumping into the cruiserweight division. You know, I mean, you could be 240, 245, 250, even 250 and make 225. I mean, when I trained with Rampage Jackson, he used to walk around 250, 255 when he got really heavy and still make 205. So a lot of the heavyweights could make that. So that I guess that's why they don't do it. But typically, I think maybe in the future, we were talking about mixed martial arts in 300 years from now and how big the sport will be. There will probably be one at some point in the future. But as of right now, there just isn't the depth in the heavyweight division.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, it's so tough to add in like a super lightweight or any of those other ones without a cruiserweight in there, you know? So it's like you kind of need the glut of talent between the two. It's just an impossible thing to justify to me to say, hey, you can go from 205 to 265, but you can't go from 155 to 160. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's the choice they make. You know, I mean, if they're around 230 pounds, let's just say, and they choose to fight at heavyweight, which some heavyweights are smaller. Like, I mean, Fedor Emelianenko, for sure, could have made 205. Mirko Krokop, if I remember rightly, used to weigh in around 235, 240, something like that. And that seems to be like a really good weight for a lot of the best heavyweights because they're still athletic, they're still agile, they're still quick, they're still fleet of foot. You know, they're not just big lumbering maniacs. That's why Tom Aspinall, again, is like kind of unique because he is a big dude, but he is very agile. So is Cyril Gane, you know, but yeah, you know, I mean, that's the choice they make. If they want to lose the fat, they want to trim the fat, they want to get on a diet, they want to be disciplined, they could probably make 205. If they don't want to do that, you might find yourself at a 30-pound weight disadvantage. But that's just maybe because of their discipline, you know? Brian.
All right. So we have another question. We actually have a few questions here from a new caller. This is Victoria.
Oh, hello, Victoria.
Hey, BOIM. My name is Victoria from New York. I have 2 questions for you guys. The first, I want to say, Paul, congratulations on the baby. She's so cute. And also another thought that just came to my head. Stream East just got canceled today. I almost had a heart attack, and I feel like a lot of the subscribers over here know how I feel. My heart hit the ground when I seen the news, but then once I realized that pay-per-views are done by the end of the year, I was like, it's okay. I'll live, but for the rest of this year, I'm gonna be fighting for my life. That's not the question. Here are the questions. So, first, do you guys think that we will ever see a real double champion again? Now, we have like people moving up to become 2 division champions. We just had Ilya do it. In November, we're going to have Islam, then Wei Lee. So there are people with the opportunity to become 2 division champions, but that's not what a true double champion is, holding the 2 belts simultaneously. So do you think that Dana is ever going to give people the opportunity again to hold 2 belts? Then my second question is about the White House card. So recently there was an interview of, I think it was DC. Yeah, it was DC. He was talking about that if we want an American to go to the White House and definitely win, that American would be Jon Jones. Now we all know that Jon Jones and Dana White might not be in the best space with each other due to the fact that somebody ducked somebody else.
We said all this. You get on with the questions, sweetheart.
Might not be on that card. So who do you guys think would be an American fighter who could go on that card and have a good chance of winning? Of course, as a fighter, there's no guaranteed wins, but who do you think from the UFC roster can get out there and have the edge to win? And who do you think would be a good competitor for that person in their weight division? I hope that makes sense. I love the pod. Keep doing what you guys are doing. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very, very much for the question. It's nice to have a female sending in. We do get a few women here and there, don't we? You know,
every now and then.
Predominantly, it's men that send in the question. So thank you very, very much. Right, hold on. What did she even ask? Because it was a long old one. It was a long one. So I've forgotten the first part. First of all,
2-division champ.
2-division champ. Oof. Will we ever see a simultaneous 2-division champ? That is the word she was looking for. Dana kind of said he was done with them, but I mean, Ilia Topuria, if anyone, is going to be the guy.
Well, but no, he's already dropped his fed. So you're saying wins lightweight and goes up to welterweight?
I mean, maybe if Islam beats Jack.
It's true. Yeah, no, that, and you're not going to, you want the 2 belts on the poster for that, obviously. I was going to say somebody like Merab would have a case for it just because that's a guy who's talking about fighting at 320, then turning around at 322. That's a guy who, if he ever was to make the jump to 45, I'd believe him if he said he was willing to actively defend both.
And that kind of relates to the last question. Those lighter weight classes, they only jump up 10 pounds, not, of course, 60 pounds. So 10 pounds, that's not much of a stretch at all for Merab. And let's have a look. The 45 champ is, it's Volkanovski. Could you imagine Volk versus Merab?
That's a good fight.
That's a good fight, man. You know, I mean, but obviously Volk's clearly got much better hands, but
I'd pay to see that one.
You know,
yeah, right.
And then heavyweight division, other than Jon Jones at the White House taking on Thomas.
Did it have to be heavyweight? I thought.
No, she just said an American and then match them.
Yeah, we want an American to. If you wanted an American to get a win on a White House card, what American are you sending?
An American to get a win on the White House card. I mean, it's very simple. I'm just looking at the rankings right now. Hold on. You just match up 2 Americans on another. One of them's gonna win. It's that easy.
Do like Holloway Chandler.
You know, you could put on for the heavyweight division though. You could put on Derek Lewis against Tom Aspinall, knockout king. You never know. But yeah, no, thank you for the question. You got anything else to add, Harrington?
No, I mean, I just, I would like to see, the same way that they stacked the Paris card with with French fighters and, as we just saw for the Noche card full of Mexican fighters, it would be dope if it was the anniversary of America and it's on the White House and it is filled with a bunch of American fighters. I could definitely get behind that. If I'm picking like from those guys, give me Sean Strickland, give me Sean Bray, all the Seans, give me Sean O'Malley too. Give me all the American.
Put Kayla Harrison on there.
Ooh, that's good.
Well, of course, Kayla Harrison's going to be on there because she was at the White House. She was with Donald Trump. She was walking around with Dana and Trump. She was in the Oval Office. So she's a shoo-in already. There's no way that she's doing all that. And I think she did an interview just recently where she was talking about it. So she's going to be on. Sean Strickland's a good one.
Bo Nickel.
You ain't going to get any controversy. He's not going to make a dick out of himself at the White House. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sean might be a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A little too close.
Sean will push the envelope.
He might push the envelope a bit too much. Secret Services might get involved.
Bryce Mitchell. Give me Bryce Mitchell on that card. No, you don't trust Bryce Mitchell at the White House?
I mean, not again, just on the same vibe. We're not. If you're trying to keep it, respectable. Right. I mean, Bryce is Bryce.
Bryce Mitchell's taking a bullet for the president.
Yeah, no, he would happily, and he'd have a great time in heaven.
He really would.
It'd be fine. He'd be greeted by the angels. But if we're going down respectable angles, you can't go from Bo Nickel to Bryce Mitchell.
No, all right, fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? Sean O'Malley would handle himself well.
Yeah, for sure.
Bo Nickel would.
He'd come out with the red, white, and blue hair. It'd be pretty sweet.
Who else is like,
Corey Sandhagen?
Corey Sandhagen versus Sean O'Malley. There you go.
Ooh, that's a fun fight. That's a very fun fight.
If he beats Merab. All right, my headache is imploding. We've been going for a while. Do we have one more question to finish up on? That's why I'm just going to rub my head like
the rest of them are also crazy long.
Paris related.
Yeah, it's all from last week.
Okay. Well, you know what time that means? It is. It's the end of the show, guys. I know it's sad, but it had to happen at some point. We've done 2 hours here. So that's it. Soon, Thursdays are going to be back. That sounds like a wild shout, considering that we ain't even doing Mondays. But I'll explain everything. When we're up and running, I'll explain why. Why? Because in the past, I would always make sure that the show was done because I had motivation to do it. Lately, the motivation in terms of the compensation hasn't been there. It's a long story. Some certain people might have been dropping balls. But anyway, balls will be caught going forward. That's the show, guys. See you potentially Thursday. You never know. Bye-bye.
Harrington, you're fired.
Yeah, exactly.